Welcome to the U World Order Showcase Program, the platform dedicated to highlighting visionary entrepreneurs and coaches who are shaping the U World economy. Each week, we're celebrating the power of the individual and coming together to uplift and empower one another to reach new heights of growth and prosperity as we showcase a coach, company, or entrepreneur stepping out to be the change they want to see in the world. With our collective efforts, we're creating a world where every person has the tools to realize their full potential and thrive like never before. Join us today as we chat with this week's guest to learn how they got started, what they're doing, and how they're making a difference in shaping the U World Order.
Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast. Today we're talking with Noah Kowaloff, and he is the joy prophet. His thing is helping people find happiness and play in the world. I do have to forewarn you, this podcast is going to be a little bit more graphic than most of our podcasts. So if you have young ones in the room or you're not open to discussing things that are a little more sensitive in nature, you're probably going to want to watch or listen to a different podcast. The F word is dropped liberally in this conversation, and I just don't want you to be shocked or surprised by what's coming. So it's a great podcast. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We explore a bunch of different things, from drag queens to oracle cards. But if those things aren't in your wheelhouse, then please turn off this podcast and listen to a different one. With that, please help me welcome Noah to the show.
Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast. Today, we're talking with Noah Kowaloff. The Joy Prophet is best described as an experience. He blends many roles into an extraordinary package. As a coach, healer, channeler, mentor, entrepreneur, and creator, Noah brings fun and fabulousness to everything he does. At the core, Noah's mission is the belief in the transformative power of play. Having overcome his own struggles with depression, anxiety, and addiction, Noah knows firsthand how tough life can be, which is why he's so passionate about his work. It saved his life. He now considers play, fun, joy, and authenticity vital for a fulfilling and happy existence, and incorporates them into all areas of his life. Noah helps his clients rewrite their life narratives, encouraging them to embrace play as a way of life, not something just for the weekends. Noah's work is designed for those who are eager to break free from limitations, embrace their potential, and create a life brimming with joy, fulfillment, and endless possibilities. He offers retreats around the world, as well as a private one-on-one coaching portals and VIP days. Noah resides in Framingham, Massachusetts, with his wife, Dena, and 2 cats. Please help me welcome Noah. Welcome, Noah.
All right, let's rock and roll.
We were chatting a little bit beforehand. We both agreed that fuck was our favorite word. So if you're easily offended, probably ought to watch or listen to a different episode.
This may not be the fucking one for you.
This might not be the fucking one for you. Okay. I was telling him that it's my favorite word. I don't admit that to many people, but now I guess I've admitted it to everyone. So Noah, tell us a little bit about you, what you're doing.
So my name is Noah Kowaloff, and I am the Joy Prophet. I like to think of myself as a prophet of joy, literally. Like, I am intuitive, I'm psychic, I download messages from other realms, but also, like, joy is such an important core value of mine, as is play and fun and authenticity. So I also have called myself a play ambassador, because, like, my vision for the world is one where we all prioritize these things, or at least where it is understood that it should be a priority. I can't control what people prioritize or not, but I'm all about breaking out of the societal matrices and shackles that tell us we need to fit nicely in little fucking boxes and paint within the fucking lines, and that we can only be happy, playful, joyful, on nights and weekends or something like that. Like, no, like, let's just have a party every day because we're alive.
Yeah, we're alive. And that should be like,
That should be enough.
that should be the main thing, not how are we going to make money and how are we going to live. Those things are part of life, but they're not the main part of living. We're human beings. We're supposed to be being, not existing.
Yeah, and we're not human doings. And like, it's so true, because I honestly, in my experience and in my belief structure, it's like the more that we're able to uncouple being joyful or having fun or the good feelings in life from the circumstances of life, they are not mutually like intrinsically connected, and that's the only way that they can be. In fact, it's quite the opposite, is that it is easier than people may realize to prioritize feeling good. Like Abraham Hicks talks about this all day long. It's like, you feel good, you're in the vortex, right? And you feel good because it feels good to feel good, and you don't need to be affected by what your boss says or what your wife or husband says, or what happens in traffic or whatever. Like, the goal in life is to feel good. And and I don't even remember where I was going with this, but just as you can see, I get so excited. I get so just jazzed up about this, because it truly is my mission in life, and to run a movement around joy and to really spread this message as much as possible.
Do you have tools and techniques that you help people with? How do you actually like share this information with others?
That's a great question. It's more than just me, talking, niceties into the ethos, or ethos. No, that's not the word. Ethers. I knew that wasn't the right word. It's more than me just like speaking out into, oh, you should be happy. I'm not Pollyanna. I'm not. Like, I don't. Someone asked me yesterday, like, well, like, what if bad things are happening? And it's like, well, there are people I care about who are sick right now, and there are things going on in my life that aren't ideal. Like, it's not like everything in my life is perfect. God, no. And when I'm around the people who I love who are sick, and it hurts and it makes me feel bad, it's not like I'm just bypassing that. Like, no. But I strongly believe it's like when you work out all the time, and then you have to like if you're physically healthy and then you get sick, your recovery is going to be better than if you're completely obese and out of shape and you get the same sickness. Like, so it's the same kind of thing. It's like, if I'm constantly practicing being attracting joy in my life, like attracts like, then even the bad times might be a little bit less bad. So specifically, what are the tools and techniques I use? Well, one thing I do is, there are 4 pillars of joy that I've come up with, and I will list them off for you guys. And with each one of these, you can do a spot check at any point in the day and say, how am I doing on all four of these? And I'm not perfect. I am not 100% on all four of these, but the mindfulness and the awareness has me a lot better than I would be otherwise. So those four are authenticity and expression. You know, how well am I doing at expressing myself authentically? How well am I doing at feeling like I'm in my own skin and I'm comfortable with who I am? And that I'm not playing small. I'm not hiding who I am from others. Play and fun, you know, and people think that that means you have to go to Six Flags or Disney World or something. It's like, no, like today I was driving and I was like, okay, what's the next thing I could do that lights me up? Yeah, that's a great question to ask. What's the one thing I can do now that would light me up, even if it's just, 5% more? And it was like, I want to turn on the radio and sing. So I did. So play and fun, whatever that means to you, incorporate it in your life as much as possible. Play and fun, authenticity, expression, movement, let's try this again. Talking, movement and embodiment. How much are you walking? How much are you dancing? How connected to your body are you? And by thinking about that, it's like that is a huge piece, right? And what is the other one? The other one is spirituality. It's like, how connected are you to your spirituality? And for me, I'm not very religious, but I have a connection to what I call God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. It can be
the big energy,
the big guy, the big energy. I do oracle card readings. I do Akashic record readings for people. These are offerings that I have, and I often will just grab my cards and just do a reading for myself, and that always lights me up. It always gives me hope, and it's like each one of these things can go ahead.
Can I ask you a question about oracle cards and tarot cards that kind of are the same? I've used them. I have my own deck. It's just that it doesn't really even matter to me what card comes up, because it always gives me a place to start. I can think about what's going on in my life, and that card, whatever the card is applicable. But it's just like, what's your thought?
Yeah. So first off, two things come to mind. One is the answer I'm going to give you, and the other is I want to do a real quick reading for you.
Okay,
my card's
great.
Right over there.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
So my take on the oracle cards, I don't do tarot cards, so I know less about them. But my deck came with a nice little book with a full page write-up of every card, and there's like, I don't know, 50 or 60 cards. And so that's the generic way, is like, oh, well, you got this card. Let's go to page 47. What does it say? Okay, so this is what it means. That's not how I do it. Mostly. For myself, there are times where I keep pulling the same card over and over again. And I typically will just intuitively give you the message that comes to me. But when it keeps coming to me and I keep trying to decipher it, then sometimes source is like, no, you need to go and check out the book, and there's a message.
Book has the message for you.
but generally speaking, I see it as a very intuitive, guided, channeled process. And yeah, to an extent, maybe it doesn't matter what card you start with. But so are you saying that every card you get, or every time you do a reading, it's the same message?
No,
Okay,
it's a
good.
different message. Every card has a different message. It has a different meaning, and it doesn't always have the same meaning every time you see it.
No, of course not.
And a lot of it is intuitive, but it's just the idea of I'm not sure that it matters which card shows up, because the right card is going to show up. It's
Exactly.
going to start you on whatever thought process you need to go on, or answer whatever question that you're asking. And probably at a deeper level, because it's more of an unconscious, it's looking to your subconscious to try to communicate with your conscious mind.
Exactly. And so for me also, it's like, to that, I shuffle the deck until cards jump out at me.
Mhm.
And if a card falls or jumps out of the deck, that's the one to be read. So, I'm not going to do a huge reading here because this is an audio podcast, right?
It will be video at some point.
Okay. But people may not want to listen to me describe what a card looks like, or you describe what a card looks like. But and B, it's like, if something jumps out, those are the cards that are raising their hand saying, pick me, pick me. So that said, 3 cards just fell out of the deck. And they fell out at the same time. So let's play with these. The first one is a picture of a gold chalice with a golden infinity sign above it. And it says, gold cup of replenishment.
Yes, I love it.
Okay. And so as I look at this, what really is strong to me is the notion of replenishment and of infinity. So if you look at it, it's like you're being invited to replenish from source. It's like, maybe there are areas where you've been working really hard, where you've been trying to burn the candle at both ends, or work, in all directions, or whatever, or handle it, do everything on your own. And it's like, you're either are, or you're going to start getting burnt out. And the way to counteract that is through spiritual connection, and it's through opening to that source that will infinitely refill your cup. And not only will it refill your cup, but like, in doing that, you're golden, right? Like, it's not just, so there's abundance, there's wealth in this notion. It's that, if we think of the metaphor of gold as money, it's like, when you can come from a replenished, refilled, having reset or regrouped place, the money comes that much easier, because you're not trying so hard. And so that's kind of what you're being invited to. And of course, with that comes, the next card, which is go with the flow. And it just shows for our listeners, it shows a person on a canoe going down a river. And so it's like, once you've replenished, it's ever, the level of replenishment is never ending. It's like a river. So this abundance, this replenishment, it's like saying, come with me. Let's go downstream. And let's allow for you to continue. It says paddle on also. So it's like, let's allow for you to continue moving, having and staying connected to that ever replenishing source of energy, of life, of love, of possibility. That when you're coming from that
going
place,
with the current instead of fighting against it.
And I think this goes for everyone to an extent, is the notion that, what is joy? Joy is going with the flow of life. And it's going with what happens for life. It's not just saying, well, I'll like the good things, and then when bad things come, I'm going to fight it tooth and nail. It's like, no, like, go with the flow, because even the bad things may just be, you dodged a bullet. That relationship that worked out, maybe that's the person who would have murdered you in your sleep 10 years from now, and now you can meet the love of your life. I mean, I don't know. I'm just riffing here. And then finally, where does that all take you? It takes you to creation, expansion in your life. and we see, what is that, the flower of life?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the sacred geometry flower of life in a rainbow pattern. And so it's like, as you go with the flow and as you are allowing the divine to replenish you, you are also expanding. So your container, if we go back and see the chalice of the first card, your container continues to expand. It turns into the river, and you are then able to continue expanding in your life, and everything expands in your life. Your life gets bigger, you get bigger. You are allowing for more abundance, for more gifts, for more happiness and adventure and prosperity and all these things, because you are open to receive, and you are open to receive because you have that cup of replenishment, that infinite source pouring into you at all times. And that once it pours into you, go with the flow that is already pouring into you and through you. And you are allowed then to move downstream with that flow. And in so doing, you are expanding your life in all ways, and it is all connected. And so that, my friend, is a 3-card reading, and how I incorporate the notion of spirituality and joy and play, and it's all tied together, right? And for anyone who,
Yes.
like, personally, my style of doing readings is that it's never just a 3-card spread, because they're all interconnected, or a 6-card spread, or a 40 card, however many cards. Each card tells the story with its brothers and sisters.
And it's so, I'm kind of like tearing up because it's so perfect. It was the message I needed to hear today.
I know.
That's so amazing. So what got you started on this path? Why did you
You know,
become the joy prophet, Noah?
you know, I kind of think about it like this, is that I've, my life, just like everyone's, has had its ups and downs. I struggled with addiction and depression and anxiety, and I've had more than my share of hard knocks. Um, and I haven't always been happiness focused or the joy prophet, or like, that hasn't always been who I am. I mean, I have had moments of suicidal thinking. It's been a very long time, thank God, but I have been absolutely miserable. And having found a way out of that through my own spiritual practice, through my own just view of life, like, these are core values of mine: joy, play, fun, and authentic expression. It's because I spent 12 years of my life working, 20, 30, 40 hours a week next to miserable people. Probably even more than that, but there are 2 people specifically who I worked with who were absolutely miserable. And working alongside them and experiencing how miserable some people were, it was definitely this feeling of like a lot of sympathy and empathy for them. And also, like, I want to find ways to not have that be my story. And as a healer and a coach, I've tried in various niches. I've done, I worked with empaths. I worked with some business coaching. I've done dating coaching. And so everything was just sort of one iteration that evolved into another. And I don't know, I guess not, eventually I was just like, you know what I am is an embodiment of joy. I am that person who is, part Peter Pan, part your obnoxious friend who's like, hey, let's go to Vegas, and you're like, it's Tuesday and I'm working, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but let's go to Vegas. Like, part instigator, I guess you could call it. And this has nothing to do with my sexual orientation, but part gay bestie. Like the stereotypical gay bestie who's like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna have fun, this is your day, we're gonna make this happen, like, let's go get some drinks, let's hit the town, like, and it's like, I am that person who is like, let's find what lights you up and go for it. And if you need help with that, well, let's play, let's figure it out, let's sit down and figure out what it is. And that is how I show up in my relationship, that's how I show up in my friendships, that is how I show up. It's like, anyone who knows me knows that I will not be contained, I will not fit in a box, I will not paint within the lines, that I am the exuberant, kind of flamboyant, like, fun, playful, oh, what's that, a rule, let's see if we can break it.
Yeah, like, let's see how it works this way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does it look like if we do it this way? Like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that? Well, that's a dumb rule. Like, what if I want to do, what if I do actually do that? Like, and of course I don't go around breaking laws or anything, but like, I go to the beat of my own fucking drum, and will until the day I die, and then I'll come back as a ghost going to the beat of his own fucking drum. And to me, it's just so fun. So long way of answering that, how I got into it is that this is who I am. This is exactly who I am, and it's not someone that I could ever not be.
And it's so freeing, isn't it? When you can just be you and so you're enough.
Yeah, and here's the secret, you guys, is like, I'm not special. We all can be us, and we all are enough. Sometimes it takes some courage to get started and to just be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do what works for me. But like any other muscle, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Mm-hmm. And then before you know it, you're doing all kinds of crazy shit because it lights you up. And people are like, who's that? Oh, that's just so-and-so, and that's how they are. And people are like,
that's
damn.
Okay.
Exactly. It's more than okay. Like, it's
necessary, really.
When I see people like that, like, not to get political, but that's why I love drag queens, is they're just so authentically themselves. And, they're just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen a sad, no, that's not true, but like, I've never seen a drag queen who isn't about authenticity.
That's kind of an oxymoron.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, because they're just they're so flamboyant but it's juxtaposition with being in drag.
There's this great show. I forget what platform it was on. It was on BBC originally, but you can find it online somewhere. It was called Drag 411, and basically, Drag 911, Drag 911. I think
411. It's information.
So, yeah, I think it was called Drag 911. And basically, this group of drag queens would go into these little British towns and villages and try to find people who would want to express themselves more authentically through drag. And then it would be like, the whole makeover where they would help this person really come into their own version of drag, and then they would put on a lip sync performance at a local bar at the end of the episode. And there was only one season, which is an absolute tragedy. But like, guys, you need to check this out because you can't watch it and feel bad.
It's the epitome of play.
Exactly.
These people are pretending to be something that they aren't. And, you know, I know guys that do drag and they have families and wives and other things. And
it's like,
but it's just, this is a play.
Let's play dress up. Let's go finger paint.
Yeah.
You know, let's get a bunch of water balloons and go out in the backyard. Let's do
throw
all
them at each other.
that as kids we were told not to, because now we're grown-ups and we can do whatever the fuck we want, right?
Yeah, it's one of my best memories growing up was we went to my cousin's house, and it was a barbecue and all the adults were plastered and we got the hoses out.
Exactly.
Shooting at everybody. And that went on for several hours. It was really fun. And until the woman who had just had her hair done showed up. Oh, man.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Made a great impression on me. I still remember that. So let's talk about your greatest struggle with your business. What do you think is the greatest thing you struggle with getting your message out?
So I think the biggest struggle for me is that in getting my message out, I've noticed that in general, unfortunately, a lot of people may not share my vision as much as I wish they would. You know, we live in a very serious world where people are like, oh, I'm really glad that Noah's having so much fun, but God damn it, I gotta get work done and I have this and I have that. And so that is part of it, this feeling that like people just aren't picking up what I'm putting down nearly enough. And it, you know, being really candid here, it breaks my heart because I see so much suffering and bitterness and hurt and pain in the world. And I'm not so grandiose to think I can fix all of it, but I definitely know that I can help, and I know that I want to help, and I know that it can be helped without additional pain, that it actually can be easy and not super intense or heavy to make massive transformational shifts in your life, in your relationships, in your job, in whatever. And you can do it all through fun and play. And maybe there's some introspection and maybe a little bit of time that's a little bit challenging, but it doesn't need to be stressful. This thing called life doesn't need to be painful. There are moments where it will be. So yeah, I think that's my biggest struggle is getting people to be like, he's definitely onto something. How do I join you? How do I sign up for this movement that you're starting? How can I play with you, Noah?
And that leads me to, how can they play with you, Noah?
So a few different ways. And I'm so glad you asked, Jill. So I offer, as demonstrated, you know, like oracle card readings. I can do Akashic record readings. Those are both pretty powerful. I also do VIP days and long weekends, those type of things, where you come to the Boston area where I live, or you fly me out to where you are. I mean, we can figure it out. It's all bespoke, it's all custom, but the idea is that we have an immersive experience together designed to help you embrace joy, play, fun, and authentic living as a way of life. And that I do sort of that intensive, like, okay, let's see what's going on, let's diagnose it, and let's flip it inside out and have fun with it. And I use words like diagnose and intensive very lightly because they have heavy connotations. Also offer, we also could do a bespoke or custom, Voxer online portal. But what really lights me up, what really excites me is doing retreats. I have a retreat coming up at the end of the summer in the mid September 15th to 25th in Greece. And that is going to be so fun and so amazing. We're going to spend a week on the island of Crete in a luxury villa. And, it's going to involve sightseeing and going to beaches and snorkeling and all the fun things you do in Greece, but also it's going to involve downtime to do whatever you want, just rest and relax. We're going to do ceremonies both in the villa, but we're also going to go to Athens and spend a few days there. And we're going to do a manifestation ceremony at the Oracle at Delphi, very powerful spiritual site of the ancient Greeks, and then a harvest equinox ceremony on the fall equinox that we will do at Eleusis, where the ancient Greeks did their ceremonies to welcome the harvest of the equinox. So like, it's going to be all these things combined: fun, downtime, excitement, spirituality, play, authenticity, deeper connection, diving deeper into your own trust, into trust with spirit. I mean, we're going to cover it. It's going to be life-changing. I'm so excited for that. That's the big retreat. And then I will be doing smaller retreats, stateside, into the fall and winter. So no shortage of options on how to play with me.
Yeah, that sounds so fun. I was in Crete when they overthrew the king and queen. In fact,
I didn't know they did that.
In the hotel where the people that were doing the coup, my mother and my two sisters and I, we were there for that event. The people that plotted the coup were in the hotel. We were the only foreigners allowed in that hotel.
Wow. Do these things often follow you when you travel?
No,
okay.
It was just one of those things. I was like 6 years old and we were over there because my dad, who was in the military, and he was sent over there to set up this airfield or something. And when he arrived, they met him at where he's deplaning and said, we're overthrowing the king. It was a coup, but it was it wasn't a big bloody thing. The king at the time agreed to step down. I think he went to Spain, but there was like one day the queen, she was so beautiful. Her picture was huge behind the registration desk. And the next day it wasn't. And, a 6-year-old girl, she notices those things. And my mother's over there going, shh, shh.
Amazing. I love it.
I have fond memories of Crete.
So you should come with us. Oh my God, it would be amazing to have you.
Well, I have to think about it.
Sure.
For sure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Just excitement. That's all. No pressure.
It has been such a pleasure having you on the podcast, Noah.
I could sit here and chat with you forever.
Oh my
God, totally.
Such a great person to have on.
Thank you for tuning in to the You World Order Showcase program. We hope today's episode has inspired you to consider how you can leverage your unique skills and talents to be the change you want to see in the world. If you're ready to take the next step and turn your passion into a 5-figure part-time business, we invite you to schedule a private consult at heartlifecoach.com. During our Passion to Profit breakthrough session, we'll work together to identify your strengths, clarify your vision, and develop a tailored plan for achieving your goals. Don't settle for mediocrity or let fear hold you back from pursuing your dreams. With the right guidance and support, you can build a thriving business that brings you joy, financial freedom, and the opportunity to make a positive impact in the world. Head over to heartlifecoach.com today to schedule your Passion to Profit breakthrough session and take the first step towards creating the life you've always wanted. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the You World Order Showcase program.